Let's solve some problems on proportion, and the first problem is, are the ratios 25 gram, ratio 30 gram and 40 kilogram, ratio 48 kilogram in proportion? We have two ratios, that is this one. So first one is 25 gram to 30 gram, and the next ratio is 40 kilogram to 48 kilogram. So we have these two ratios, and we have to tell whether they are in proportion or not. Now, they will only be in proportion, they will be in proportion only when these two ratios are actually equal. If these two ratios come equal, then these two ratios will be in proportion. 25 and 30. Let's solve first this one. If we have to simplify this 25 and 30, then we'll have to first find out the highest common factor of 25 and 30. So highest common factor of 25 and 30 will be what? 5. So if I divide 25 by 5, that will be 5. 2. If I divide 30 by 5, it will be 6. Now let's solve for this one. 40 and 48. So if we have to find out the highest common factor of 40 and 48, what will be that? The highest common factor will be 8. So I leave this calculation for you. You have to find out the highest common factor on your own. I'm just telling you straight. So this is 40, this is 48. Highest common factor will be 8. If you divide this 40 with 8, you'll get 5. And if you divide this 48 with 8, you'll get 6. Therefore, this is 5 ratio 6, and this is also 5 ratio 6. That means these two ratios are actually equal. 5 ratio 6, 5 ratio 6 equal. That means that these two ratios ultimately will be equal. Why? Because these are simplified form of these two ratios. And since these both get simplified to a single, same ratio, that is 5 ratio 6 and 5 ratio 6, therefore these two ratios are equal, and therefore they will be said to be in proportion. And the way to write it will be 25 ratio 30 is in proportion to 40 ratio 48. And how will we read this? 25 is to 30 as 40 is to 48. I'm again repeating it. 25 is to 30 as, because now we have represented this whole, these two ratios in the form of proportion, because they are equal and therefore they are in proportion. 25 is to 30 as 40 is to 48. What about this one? Are 30, 40, 45 and 60 in proportion? So let's take first these two, 30 and 40. So 30 to 40. And then take 45 and 60. 45 and 60. If you solve for this one, 30 and 40. What will be the highest common factor of 30 and 40? The answer is 10. If you divide 30 by 10, you will get 3. And if you divide 40 by 10, you will get 4. Let's solve this one. If we have to find out the highest common factor of this one, then that will be what? The highest common factor of 45 and 60 will be 15. And if you divide 45 by 15, then you'll get 3. And if you divide 60 by 15, you'll get 4. Therefore, ultimately, you are actually getting same ratios, that is 3 ratio 4 and 3 ratio 4. It means that these two ratios are actually equal. It means that 30 is to 40 as, that is the proportion symbol, 45 is to 60. Okay. Do the ratios 15 centimeter to 2 meter, this is one ratio, and 10 second to 3 minutes form a proportion. Now look very carefully. In this case, we have 15 centimeter to 2 meter. If you compare this one with the first example, here we had 25 gram and 30 gram, gram and gram. The units were same. 40 kilogram and 48 kilogram. The units were kilogram and kilogram, same. In this case, it's centimeter but meter. seconds but minutes. So we cannot write it like this, 15 centimeter to 2 meter, and then we go on, simplifying it. That will give you wrong answer. Why? Because first you will have to compare the same units. It's always important whenever you are comparing, like centimeter and meter, it tells about distance, it tells about the length or what, anything. So first you will have to, convert the centimeter into meter or meter into centimeter, whatever, is necessary. So in this case, what we will do is, we will simply first convert meter into centimeter. That will, be like, if this is 15 centimeter, then 2 meter will be what? In 1 meter, we have 100 centimeter. In 1 meter, we have 100 centimeter. Therefore, in 2 meters, we'll be having 2 times 100 centimeter. That is 200 centimeter. Therefore, 15 centimeter and 200 centimeter. And if you find out for this one, this will be 15 to 200. Note that it's so important, centimeter and centimeter, you're comparing same. So 15 to 200. Now, how you will solve this? Again, to solve this, you'll have to find the highest common factor. And what will be the highest common factor? The highest common factor in this case will be 5. So if I divide 15 by 5, you'll get 3. And if I divide 200 by 5, I'll get 40. Okay, if you simplify this, this will be 30:40. Let's take for this one. You have 10 seconds and then you have 3 minutes. Now those of you who are thinking like, can't we change centimeter to meter? Yes, you can. But you know what will happen in that case? If you have 100 centimeter, in 100 centimeter you'll have 1 meter. Then when you'll convert this 15 centimeter into meter, then you'll get something like 0.15 meter. And you'll have to deal with this, decimal, and that will make our calculation a little bit complex and difficult. So in order to avoid this, in order to avoid dealing with decimals, I have just converted meter into centimeter so that you don't have to deal with, decimals and all. Similarly, in this case, which one is the larger unit? You'll say that second is a smaller unit, 2 minutes. Let's change minutes into seconds. So if this is 10 seconds, then we know that in 1 minute, we have 60 seconds. Therefore, in 3 minutes, we'll have how much? 3 times 60, that is 180 seconds. Right? So if we solve for this one, this is 10 seconds to 180 seconds. And what will be the highest common factor in this case? The highest common factor in this case will be 10. If I divide 10 by 10, you'll get 1. And then if I divide 180 with 10 by 10, you'll get 80. Now, in this case, we have 3:40. But in this case, we have 1:80. Are these two ratios equal? No. 3:40 is not equal to 1:80. Therefore, these two ratios, that is 15 centimeter to 2 meter, that is this one, is not equal to 10 seconds to 3 minutes. That is this one. It's not equal. Therefore, these two ratios are not in proportion.